Hello everyone, the story I'm going to share today is a Scoop Taoist wandering the human world. In Ming Dynasty, there was a Taoist who was very intelligent and who was especially good at drawing dragons and cows. He was always ragged with an unkempt look. He carried a bamboo stick with a screw tied to it and wandered the lower reaches of the Yangtze River. Sometimes he sang, and sometimes he gave out a tactful bird song. He appeared both very energetic and weird. His voice sounded like a bell when he was talking. No one knew who he was, so they simply called him a Scoop Taoist, for the screw tied to the bamboo stick he carried. He loved reading very much when he was young, but because he had been unsuccessful for a long time, so he gave up being literati and began to do martial arts. Later, he joined the Navy. It was time when Japanese pirates constantly invaded coastal towns in the Ming Dynasty. Because he was good at boxing and gained a lot of merit fighting Japanese pirates, soon he was appointed to a general. Later, the Scoop Taoist violated military rules, and he was afraid of being executed. So he changed his name and joined the pirates, robbing with them in the area between Chu and Wu states. Over time, he tired of being robber. So he organized a kakuki troop and also opened a store to sell wine in the area of Huaiyang. At that time, he lived life like a prince, indulging in lust, drinking, music, and dancing every day. This kind of life lasted for more than 10 years, but he became tired again, and he abandoned everything he owned to become a wandering beggar. Throughout his early life, it was like a dream. In the dream, he acted with different roles, those of general, robber, and store owner. Perhaps after experiencing a prosperous dream, he gradually woke up from the dream and had a different view of life. At last, Scoop Taoist came to Lee State. The local people didn't pay any attention to him at the beginning. Very soon, he started to help people cure their diseases with herbal medicine. The healing was 100%. Plus, he was good at drawing cows and dragons, and good at inventing poetry verbally. Sometimes what he said sounded strange, but it happened accordingly. The local people gradually respected him and gave him food and clothes. Every time he received these things from the local people, he would accept them first and then give them to others right away. One time, people invited the Scoop Taoist to a party. At the party, he drank a lot until he was totally drunk. He said, "I'm good at drawing a dragon." People were dubious, but someone immediately took over paper, brush, and let him try it. He ground a scoop of ink and sprayed it on the paper, and stained the dust with his torn sleeves. After it became dry, he threw the paper to the sky. Everyone was shocked to see the clouds of smoke over the painting, followed by a live dragon. The Scoop Taoist lived in an ancient temple before he left the world. He knew that he would leave the world, so he asked people to come recite a Buddhist scripture for him, to confess to the gods for the karma he made in the first half of life. After that, he asked people to buy a coffin for him. He said inside the coffin, aside to all, "I'm sorry to bother you all these years, and now I'm saying goodbye to you." People heard it, felt very much surprised, and ran over from all corners of the town. When all the people had come, he lay in the coffin and said, "Now you may put a top cover over the coffin." At the beginning, no one dared to close it, and then someone came to check that he was indeed gone, and then the cover was closed. Carrying the coffin to the tomb, people felt the coffin was very light. It didn't feel like someone in it. 6 months later, someone said that he saw Scoop Taoist in the capital. The Scoop Taoist also wrote a letter and asked that person to give it to King Zhuangjing. King Zhuangjing knew his handwriting. After he read the letter, he became totally shocked and confused. Then he asked people to open Scoop Taoist's tomb and found that the coffin was empty. King Zhuangjing sighed and said, "The immortal played in the human world, but everyday people in the world could not know them." In fact, the Scoop Taoist used one of the Taoist forms of autopsy. That is, the dead body was not really his corpse, but was transformed from an object. Usually this kind of thing happens or consider that the person successfully completed his cultivation and becomes immortal. In today's world, there are many people who practice Taoism, but everyday people cannot see them. Some of them are living in seclusion in the mountains, and some of them are wandering around the world. Those who have become immortals have supernormal abilities, so they can travel through dimensions, but their appearances look the same as others. So I would like to say that cultivation is not a kind of form, and it's not any religion either. As long as we have a kind heart, rationally observe the changes and the things happening in the world, and not to follow the corruption trend of the world, uphold justice, and swim against the current, then you are not practicing the way, but already in the way. Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if you just subscribe it. Thank you again.